Good morning, everybody. We are very excited to share a little bit of time with you this morning and talk about the giveaway and lots of upcoming things. Whoops, I just lost a mushroom.
What happened?
It was like tucked in there and now it's not. So the giveaway today is, it's sometimes we have very elaborate, complex, multi-tiered giveaways, and today's is simple but good. Three, okay, that's not working. Three bundles of core, 2 ounces each. Copper, which I love. Creme, which is it's like a short run. We're not going to continue to have this. And, oh yeah, let's see. I'll put them in here. That would be better. I can zoom in quite a bit, actually.
Yep.
Or a little like high this way. And oats, which is another color that I use all the time. It's a great go-between tan and white or tan and gray. And because it's heathered, it gets a real natural look. So I had fun making a few things that I haven't made in a long time, like the sleepy mice and the chick that the fiber fairy is holding. I sculpted entirely out of creme, and then instead of putting fluff on it, I sculpted all the shapes that I wanted, and then used the reverse needle. So that was a fun thing to do. And I made a chipmunk, which I haven't made in a really long time. And I feel like they're very similar. Mm-hmm. They're very similar, but a little bit improved. And I did all the toes. I did toes on the back, toes on the front, and we have a chipmunk felt along scheduled May 24th.
I think the 24th.
So it's a Friday at 1 p.m., which is the norm. And I think we can do it. I think it's a little bit of an ambitious project for a felt along, but I'm not going to do all the toes. Like, we're going to get the wire on there and maybe wrap one and then make the rest of the chipmunk, because we can all spend time wrapping our tiny toes. You have it all on overhead, Talbot?
Well, I switched back.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. No, that's okay. That's all right. It's the delay, So any questions so far?
There are not questions yet. Just
Okay.
lots of good mornings.
Yeah, good. It's like a beautiful day here, like crisp and sunny. We've had actually quite hot weather the past couple of days, so today feels amazing. We had a few questions. I had asked you guys to ask some questions if there was anything that you wanted to cover. So we will go over that. And I also wanted to, in addition to explaining the 3 tiers, which are, by the way, 25, 45, and 65.
For anyone new,
Okay.
yeah, because I did have a couple of email questions. The way the Fiber Fairy works, any order placed today, basically from midnight until 11:59 p.m. We give a little leeway for different time zones, especially like international or West Coast. But any order placed in that time frame, you go on the website, you shop for the things you want to shop. There are no items that you have to put in your cart for the giveaway. So there might be like an oats 2 ounce. You don't have to put that in your cart to then get free. You just purchase whatever you want to purchase. If it's $65 or more, you will get each of these things added cumulatively to your box. There's no item to click. Nothing's going to show on your invoice that says Fiber Fairy. Like, it doesn't pop in there. So it's just something we add when we print out your order, pack it, and we put that in there. So it's like bonus on top, and it is cumulative.
Did the Fiber Fairy start on Etsy?
Yes.
Okay, so this is why it's like it's very old school because we were just announcing, like reaching people.
It was
The
Facebook.
people that were following us and saying it's Fiber Fairy Friday, and if you order today, you're also going to get this.
If you put it in your notes, it wasn't a newsletter.
Yeah.
It was like just
Yes.
our Facebook.
Like they had to put FFF so that we knew that they were following us, and then so we kept this format of a giveaway. Now that we have more people and we have all of these different avenues, and we have a website, so it is a little different. Like other websites don't operate this way, so it is a little confusing because it's not systematic in the sense of there being buttons and feedback and everything like that. So yeah, we try to explain and the best that we can that you place your order, get whatever you want, and then these things are additional. And now you don't have to put an order note anymore. We just give everybody who orders on a Fiber Fairy Friday the giveaway that qualifies for it.
Well, that happened because at one point they changed, without us knowing, the checkout. The whole checkout page was changed, and the order comment spot was no longer as obvious for people. So then we had one Fiber Fairy of panic that people placed their orders without putting the note, and then it was a lot of emailing. You're going to get your stuff. We're just including it for orders placed today.
So anything we try to keep things as simple and clear as possible, but it's always herding cats using the internet to convey information.
And then stuff changes that we're
and stuff changes.
Question: someone did ask how much core is needed for the female figure.
That information is in the course itself. If you have the course, I imagine, I don't remember off the top of my head. She probably weighs, I would imagine 4 or 5 ounces. So definitely have 4 ounces of core on hand, but it might be a little more than that.
Someone is also interested in seeing the chick that the Fiber Fairy is holding up close.
Okay. We'll put the overhead on and show some things in 1 minute. All right, let me write that down because my brain will forget in the next 5 minutes. Okay. So speaking of things changing, I just wanted to mention also, Kyla mentioned it in the newsletter. We're going to switch our top coats all to 1 ounce. So there are some, especially the natural top coats like the Morit and the brown black Shetland and the oatmeal Shetland, which is one of my favorites. It's such a beautiful fiber. They're all going to go to 1 ounce. So instead of repackaging, we have put the 2 ounce bundles on sale. So it's a great time to pick one of those up if you need them. And in addition, we're adding, this is exciting. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We're adding 18,
maybe 16, but I think Jennifer said 18.
umpteen dyed Shetland colors. What I like about the Shetland, it's soft, but it's not as wiry as the Romney. It's soft, but it needle felts really well, and it's a great length for wrapping and for pelts. Oh, thank you, Talbot.
Dog care.
Sorry,
in the
there's
midst of it
a
all.
dog issue. So Talbot is leaving the building with Milo, and that means that you're just stuck looking at this picture the way it is. So I'll just keep talking. And they're beautiful colors. There's some, because the Shetland, I don't think it's always necessarily pure white. They almost look a little over dyed. They're really soft colors.
So pretty.
And
they are very pretty.
Yeah. So let's see, colors. If you want to do the chipmunk felt along, I definitely used the oats and the copper in this project. Our new caramel is a great color in this project as well. the cinnamon's a little rich. It's a little red. I didn't use, but other good colors are some of the house carded colors like bronze, some of the horse coats, acorn, buck. You do not need all of these things, but there's tons of options in this sort of caramely, caramel to rust range.
We did put a list in the newsletter from this morning, if you still have it, where the link is to the chipmunk felt along. There is just some suggested supplies along with wire types and lengths and all of that. If you haven't placed your order yet and you want to do the chipmunk felt along, you can make sure you have what you need. A couple questions.
Okay.
Natural top coat as opposed to what? What does natural mean in this description?
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Natural means that they are colors just natural to the sheep. So they're going to be very like gray, brown, black, and everything in between. So those kinds of colors versus dyed. So the new Shetland line is we're keeping the natural colors that we have on hand, but we're adding a bunch of dyed colors.
Is the Shetland good for wet felting?
I think so. I haven't used it, but yes, it will wet felt. It is a little bit more higher microns than merino, but we can definitely play around with that. That was actually one idea maybe for the early September Fiber Fairy was,
Okay.
Maybe. Things change.
What color is the rooster's neck?
Okay, so the rooster we had a gathering of the certified instructors here, which was, woo! It was, it's been since the pandemic since I've had people in the space, but we had a lot of fun here, like preparing, and then we had a lot of fun when everyone was here, and we got some nice gifts in terms of the collective, the hive mind that we're going to share with you guys, which is the whole point and super cool. And so one of those things is a new feather technique that Melanie brought to the table, and we have some ideas of how to use it and ways to use it. So that is one of the things that is coming soon. I did not want to rush to have it ready today because there's some exploring that I'm doing, and I like, it's one thing to have a technique or an idea, but then another to be prepared to show. Like, I like to make all of the errors for you guys. Basically, like, I mess up and try and try and try. I mean, I've tried about 4 or 5 different things already with the heat and bond. But we are going to carry it, and I am going to hopefully sometime in June, or maybe even the end of May, have it ready along with some project ideas and stuff. So that's exciting. So that the rooster, let's see, we can go overhead, Talbot, and I'll show a few of these things. Thank you. The rooster neck is a carded color that actually somebody blended this like plummy color, and then I kept changing it as it went up the neck, so it's darker and more red at the bottom and then lighter and more golden at the top. And I used plumage mainly. I think there's some silk, there might be some fur in there too. So this is a lot of custom colors. And then these are, Lee was kind enough to bring everyone some black nose valet locks, which we divvied up and dyed, and so that's what his saddle feathers are. And then his wing is just a piece of wet felt. His chest is wet felt. His comb is wet felted, and his tail is a combination of the twisted plumage technique and the heat bond technique. And honestly, it's hard for me to tell the difference between the two at this point. But both techniques have their pluses and minuses, which when we have the heat bond ready, we will go over all of that for sure. And then the chick, I'm going to ask you to reach for that. Yeah, it's just a little more sculpted than poofy. It's like maybe not. I think the puffy chicks are maybe a little bit more stylized. I mean, this isn't like hyper realism or anything like that, but
so cute.
Yeah, it was fun. I haven't made one of those in a long time.
And then I show the chipmunk while we're overhead.
I'll show the chipmunk, and I'll also see if I can reach the sleepy mice too.
I can probably get them. Someone asked, would the chipmunk be okay for a beginner to try to do? And is it the pelt technique like before?
I did use the pelt technique, and actually I had a piece of Sinopia on hand that I used in his pelt. There's a few pictures on the Facebook page of the work in progress on him. You can see the Sinopia coming out in a few places, but totally don't need it. You can use the core. But wow, it is nice to have that that start. And I used it and pulled some of the darks out on the face and stuff. So
how about a beginner?
Okay, so it's definitely if you've never felted before, no, that's too big of a, you might end up a little bit frustrated. It's definitely a level 2 to 3. But you can do it. It's just you're going to have different results, different success, depending on where you are with it. The thing about our techniques and our tutorials is that it's really all the same techniques. But some projects you will have more success when you have the skill set, like you have the practice to so let me grab the sleepy mice.
It would also be good, you could watch the original chipmunk tutorial ahead of time, which just gives you some knowledge of where the project is headed before Sarah does it. And the felt along can be for you, like join in, watch, enjoy, and then you could try it after, as opposed to trying to keep up and actually felt along.
So these guys I think the tan one, I mixed oats and I think I used off-white chunky core, and then I mixed oats and copper together. And then the gray one, I used oats core, and I made a little mix. Oh, I forget what I had on hand for that. It almost looks like Blue Roan, doesn't it? The horse coat.
Or carob. No?
Or carob, yeah. No, it's a little carob's
too dark.
Too dark, yeah. So on the website, if you're getting started, there is a needle felting for beginners page. And we made a video for that page about fiber types. And is that where the digital download is?
It's on that page and the main page, and someone commented on that actually that they were enjoying that, which is good. That was a labor.
That was
of love.
Kyla's baby. Because there's so much to learn about fiber, and this is part of what I think, well, there's a lot that's fun and exciting about this craft for people, but part of it is that there's endless amounts to learn, and there's endless possibilities with the techniques and the mixes of fibers. So we make an attempt on that page to explain the industry wide terminology and things that we're referring to, and then Sarafina has its own lines of fiber and terminology. So yeah, there's a lot to learn, but don't get frustrated. Just enjoy the water and just like swim around and play with stuff. It's all going to come. The more things you make, the more you're going to become familiar with the techniques. You're going to become familiar with the fiber types, and you're going to develop skill.
Another thing that newer people, or even people who've maybe been around for a while, on the tutorials links, we have the free tutorials. There's a techniques and methods. There's a series, and then there's one that's titled maybe just for fun.
Just for fun, yeah.
All of the felt-alongs are linked. So someone asked about the chick, and the chick is partially from the original chick tutorial, but we also at some point did a chick felt-along, and the felt-alongs are great to go to. We've done almost every project, especially the beginner projects, again as a felt-along, that we might have the face ace for the sleepy mice, for example. Someone was saying they look smaller than normal. If they were made on the Zuli tool, you can make it on the face ace with getting them even smaller. So if you watch both the tutorial and the felt along, you might see some updated techniques. So that's a whole nother resource.
What is with my dog? Do you mind, Talbot?
Okay.
Yeah.
You want those numbers.
It's that kind of week.
Do you want me to switch it back to the front?
No, let's stay. Thank you. Well, thank you.
Someone did ask about Sinopia. They said, what is Sinopia?
Okay, so Sinopia is one of the Imprimatura pre-felts. We make them in-house. We blend fibers together on our big Carter Dante, and then we make it into a bat, and then we partially felt it. And that's called pre-felt. And we are the Imprimatura, as much as I love them, we are going to, I think, scale back on the number of colors. I think I picked 5 or 6, and I believe Sinopia is one that made the cut. So yeah, but we also have a tan pre-felt that's great. But you, in this project, you do not need a pre-felt. You can just lay out some core and make your own pre-felt. That's what a pelt is basically. When I created the pelt technique, I didn't really realize, but like, we're making a pre-felt and then felting it on.
Someone asked about cashmere for a Himalayan kitty, and then they asked, is the cashmere in stock? We had some on clearance, but it looks like that is sold out. So I don't know if we're gonna. Yeah, there were about 30 bundles of those mixtures, but it looks like they're
My
gone.
seat's broken.
So I don't know if we're going to carry cashmere.
I haven't
roving.
decided. It is lovely. It is lovely. It's just expensive.
It is,
but
it is very expensive.
we can. It's selling.
Yeah,
it is really special.
That is a treat yourself for sure.
Yeah.
And then there were. Well, you're probably going to get to the Highland cow, but there have been several questions about the 2D Highland cow.
The Highland cow is
so close.
So close. We wanted to create for it. We're calling it a starter pack or a partial pack. It's a supply pack, but it's not everything you need. So we're trying to be careful about the wording, because there are some options, but the Highland cow has about 21 fibers in it between the merino, the silk, and the fur. And you don't need much of each fiber. So we thought this would be a really good opportunity to create a partial supply pack, and that's what we're waiting on. We wanted to be able to introduce them both at the same time. The course is actually ready, so that is imminent.
Partial. We're calling it a partial pack.
Partial pack.
Just so people know
yeah.
that it is.
You still need a pre-felt of some sort, whether you make it or buy it, and then you could add, fiber art bundle or whatever
Locks
else.
or-
Locks. Yeah, it doesn't have any locks. So yes, thank you for asking. That was on my list. I will just mention in this moment that we are not going to Sheep and Wool this year.
We are not.
Yeah.
That's
so
tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
And Sunday. Sunday's weather looks.
Yeah. So, just throwing that out there in case anybody was going or wondering about that. I'll probably be a little sorry that I didn't go, but,
Cashmere
just-
interest. Just
yeah.
there's
Okay,
some
okay.
cashmere interest
All
being
right. I think, yeah,
expressed.
we can, we have a source for that, so I will write that down.
Okay, I think I saw all the questions that were there.
Okay. I have a new project ready that I can show you guys.
She's spilling some beans.
Since you're tuned in, yeah, I'm very excited.
There's really a lot coming. The Highland Cow's like really exciting and coming, and then she just whipped something else out.
Yeah.
Ah!
These guys. So this will be a supply pack and tutorial. Just some old school stuff. Supply pack and a tutorial. And so much fun. Like, just, they're so wacky. They don't stand up on their own because they only have two toes, the weirdos. But yeah, so much fun getting their expressions and doing their floof. So very, very straightforward project, actually, but high impact.
I can hold it. Talbot managed to get one to balance the other day. It was pretty impressive.
I know. So I'm excited, and we will be working on this again, hopefully by June or so. Sometime in June. Keep you guys felting over the summer.
I'm gonna switch to overhead so you can
Okay.
get more detail.
Okay. I made an ostrich a long time ago, and okay, so this brings me into, we are going to cover the questions, and one of the questions, I really liked it, was how to choose which animal to make next, and what this new supply pack will be. So there's a few things that go into it. I need to be inspired, and it needs to feel doable on some level, and I like to do things that have a lot of appeal. So there's a ton of animals in the world, but I'm trying to create things that have a broad appeal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things, and yeah, so that is part of what goes into it. And then in terms of a supply pack, does it make sense for supply packs? So we have
You gotta bring it further away.
I know we're really far away today. I should have
There it
tilted
is.
it just a little bit.
They're just funny.
We have a few projects that aren't don't make sense for supply packs, either because they have infinite amounts of colors or just teeny tiny amounts of fibers. So this one is simple in its construction and its fiber type, but a lot of fun and and big. So yeah, so that's coming up. So I got it all figured out. We just got to film and do all the things.
But it's coming
Yeah.
fast. They're
Yeah.
fast.
Okay, so that is a good segue to more questions. Okay, Stephanie asked a question about she wanted to make things with movement. And I don't have like a ready answer for that. It's like sometimes I refer to it as you're in uncharted territory, and you like, and that's, I go there often, and that's what a lot of what I'm doing is figuring out. And whoops, I'm bouncing my leg. So yeah, so it's exciting. I love it when we take on something that we haven't done before, and you get to explore, right? Like maybe the joints, instead of a wire armature, the animation field uses like these armatures that have little joints and stuff. So I've looked into those before. I've never done anything with them. But yeah, my sister is really good at figuring out movement. Like she makes things that, and what do you call that? It's not animated. What is it, Talbot? Animatronic? Am I just making up a word?
Stop motion.
Not stop motion, but when it's like,
It's robotic.
yeah, kind of, yeah.
Animatronic, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Diane asked about heat and bond, which we have already explained. Well, not fully explained, but mentioned that will be coming. Sylvia asked about scaling down armatures, and we get asked this every so often. I mean, I would use a ratio to, if you're using one of our armatures and you want to scale it down, I would use a ratio to do that. The problem is, like, the things that I make, they're made to a certain size for a reason. So when you scale it down, then everything changes. The amount of detail you can get changes. The way I would approach it changes. The type of wire changes. So it's a little hard to say that there's a formula or like a specific way to do it. So for example, things under 3 inches, I usually use a pipe cleaner. Things under 6 inches, I usually use 22 gauge wire. And then 6 inches and over, I use 14 gauge wire in general. So, yeah. So there's not an easy way to answer that question. But that also ties into Nancy's question about how to figure out armatures. What I do is now we have a ton of information out on the internet. So find something that is to scale or similar and start there. Look at those wire measurements, look at how that armature is made, and then change it. So for example, you want to make a spaniel. Maybe look at the fox armature and go from there. So that's what I do, is I visit something that is a similar size and start there. And it's no big deal to cut your wires a little too long and then cut some off. So I take notes of my wire lengths when I start, and then I make my armature. And then if I cut some off, I just make sure to note that. So maybe I started at 24 inches. It really only needs to be 22. And then to tweak it from there, I always look at skeletons. Now, you've got to be aware that an armature is not built exactly like a skeleton, and that you're going to have wool taking up space. So drawing the skeleton and then even drawing the outline of the animal helps you figure out your armature. Yeah, so that's that in a nutshell. Angela asked about Swax, Power Wax, and PowerTex. So I brought some of these products up here. They have overlap. There is, especially Swax and Power Wax have a lot of overlap in use. And they all came about at different times for different reasons. And this is one of the things that as you explore techniques, you will continue to build on your skill set with this stuff and your knowledge. And people take these things and use them in ways that I haven't. So there's a lot to do. So tacky wrap is formulated to be put on a wire that you might be tricky to get the wool to stick, whether you want to use just aluminum without any other second wire on it, or it's a super thin wire and you really, as you're twisting it, you want to ensure that it has more grab. That's when you're going to put some tacky wrap on there. And so that's how I use that.
It stays sticky. You never want to use it on anything that's going to be on top.
It stays sticky, right. Then power wax, sorry, this is one of the busted. This is going to change, by the way. The look is going to change. It's going to come in tin.
Oh.
Yeah, which is
that.
good because these, whatever kind of plastic this is, it tends to...
It wants to crack.
Yeah. Power wax is a water-based art medium. It's called cold wax, and we're using it in felting to change change the look of the fiber. So on the rooster, for example, it's on, I first used it on the bats, the
wings.
Yeah, so it's on the comb. I didn't put it on the wattle, and it's on the beak, and it does have a little shine to it, and it does allow you to like shape a little bit, but it dries clear and slightly shiny. Oh yeah, we use it on the mushrooms. You got to put it up in here.
Oh,
I know. So yeah. It's nice because like I can just open this up and just stick my finger in it and use it. I do use it sometimes on the end of a wire if I want the wool to stick there. It gives you a little control. Yeah.
So like at the tip of a
toe, yeah. So the swax is used similarly. It needs to be warmed up. Now I developed the swax before we ever I don't even know if power wax existed then, but needs to be warmed up. It's all natural. It has a bit more power than power wax has, and it's a little heavier, but it will, like when you're doing bird feet, I mean, it will lock everything down. So it's a bit stronger than power wax. If you are making something like the batwing or gorilla or something where you want to cover a bit of ground to change the look of something, like the rooster comb, for example, definitely go with power wax. Swax will get a little heavy in a large area. Yeah.
Someone commented the power wax does darken the color a bit.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
it does.
It alters it at least.
It does change it a bit because yes, anytime that you're changing the way that light, reflects. But I mean, I don't
It
know.
changes it. It almost looks lighter.
I know. It made it more dynamic, right? Like light and dark. Yeah, it does. It does change it a little bit.
Is power wax good for nail ends? It can certainly
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. So Power Tex is like a liquid, and I've been using it mostly lately on the feather edges, diluted. You can dilute it and it won't be as powerful. It is a hardener. Mm-hmm. So just be aware that if you put this full strength on fiber, it is going to harden, like it'll be like a fiber rock. Mm-hmm. And because it's hardening, it also accentuates texture. So kind of And I feel like it does darken. Like, remember I put it on the tortoise shell
Yeah.
and it sort of lost
much.
its color.
Someone's asking how it's different than Mod Podge. I don't know which one. This would probably be most like Mod Podge, which is kind of like gluey.
It is. It's like a glue medium. I don't know fully how
This
it's different.
specifically is meant to harden.
It's meant to harden fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you put it on with a brush on larger surfaces?
Yeah. Yes.
Any of them? Even this?
No, I
You
just
use your hands?
use my hands with that. I mean, yeah.
Someone also asked how the waxes hold up over time.
They're, they're meant for art. So this one is actually like outdoor and the products that we make are, they're all natural. It's just like an addition to your fiber. It's not gonna harm anything. I don't think it's not gonna deteriorate or change.
I can say from like looking at your critters that have wax, seems
Yeah.
For years.
So we're a little bit in, some of the things that I've developed here. We only have the amount of time that we have with
The
it.
mushrooms
So
have been around for
this is the power wax. Yep.
a good while.
Yeah.
Someone is asking, did you iron the rooster's comb? Someone found that ironing the fiber after applying the power wax smooths and blends it.
I didn't afterwards. No. I see a bunch of fuzz.
Did you iron? Was it the bat wings? There was something.
I did
that
iron
you
the
did
back, press the bat wings. Yeah.
after it was dried.
Partly to lift some of the power wax off.
That was with like a paper.
So that is those things. Okay, Maria asked how to get the wool to stick to the pre-felt. It helps to
In wet felting.
in wet felting. Okay.
Well,
It helps to tease the pre-felt up, like lift, like open the fibers up, and then lay your wool in. That will help it stick. If you can, it helps to needle felt it a little bit. If you're using the merino pre-felt, it is rather smooth and fairly well felted, so you definitely have to tease off of that. We do that in the Doodlebug tutorial, which no longer has a supply pack, but the tutorial remains. I used flat mat a few times where the merino felts to itself more readily than it felted to flat mat. So they did separate a little bit.
Joyce said if you live in a place that gets very hot, the swax might melt a little and get soft. That would be Texas. Her dragon claws.
don't put it by a window.
Possibly in her.
Don't put it
like,
in
a
your car dash. But it takes a lot of heat to really change it.
Oh, wax, yeah, it would.
Like Talbot knows the
melting
melting point. Okay. When making, Linda asked, when making feathers, just fur or add wool? Fur works great for feathers. Sorry, I got stuck on my F's. But plumage that's what it was made for. Plumage is great for feathers, and plumage does have a little bit of merino in the formula. Because we're not trying to felt a feather, and we're also not necessarily trying to keep it from felting. It can go either way in terms of the wool content. Definitely, it's fun with the plumage, the silk is built in, but it is fun to get some silk in there because that helps with your shine. We also put a new product. Check out the Goods and Faves page periodically because sometimes we sneak stuff in there, but we put a new product that it's a hair product. It's a shine spray. I can't remember if it's John Frieda.
Shine of the times.
Yeah. And it's if you need a critter that you just want to give a little extra shine to. Be careful though with a lot of hair products because of buildup.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't wash them, and they can, maybe dust would stick a little bit more or something. But it's fun. It's fun to manipulate and mess with the fibers. Okay, how to choose. I think I covered everything in the inquiries, and I think I have covered everything on my list. So we'll stay here as long as you guys have questions. And if you don't, then we will go ship packages and order pizza.
Standard Fiber Fairy Friday.
Yeah.
Look at how she's peeking out from behind.
Oh my gosh.
Look on the.
Oh, yeah.
Behind her wing.
Oh, that is funny.
Ostrich faces and feet. Wacky.
Oh yeah, we went down the ostrich rabbit hole, and it is they are pretty wacky. Review the Fiber
Sure.
Fairy. Sure. I'll just hold it up, Talbot. Okay. At $25, if you put $25 in your order, we add the copper core. And then $45, we add 2 ounces of creme core. And $65, we're adding 2 ounces of oats. So that's a good deal, actually.
It is. For $65, you get
it's a lot of fiber.
all of those. Yes, if you're using any kind of discount code, like some of our international people maybe, after any kind of discount and before the shipping costs. So that subtotal is what we use to determine which Fiber Fairy you're getting. Okay, I don't know what's happening with the newsletter. Someone else is asking. I have noticed if you're on Gmail, you have your primary, but then there's 2 other tabs, one of which is promotions and one is, I think, social. I have my personal email signed up for the Fiber Fairy emails, and it never comes into my primary. It always comes into the promotion tab, which if you don't click into, you're not, I always ignore it. My promotions tab is like full of all kinds of stuff. So it might be in there. It's possible it's getting bumped to spam. If you want to shoot me an email, I can check and make sure you're subscribed. We had someone else who was subscribed. I did check that. She still wasn't getting it. I'm curious if she got it today. Someone else suggested just resubscribing, and that might push it. We, use a system that sends out a whole bunch, and it's like 20,000 emails or something that go. It's a lot of people getting it. So anything going out in that volume, there is the risk of it bumping to spam or not being delivered. So that's my best understanding of the internet, which is very limited.
I'm just trying to make things cute.
Someone, it ended up in their junk folder. And I think the incoming email, if it's sent out in mass, it must be flagged or something that it is coming.
We're not junk.
We are not junk or spam.
It could go to social tab on Gmail as well.
Social or promotions. So if you're on Gmail, check those tabs. I, until probably 2 years ago, didn't even know there were tabs. I mean, I just ignored them. So,
Tamara asked about the Highland cow. Yes, we did. We did mention that. We're just waiting on some fiber to complete the pack that we want to go with it. So it's all ready to go. Very, very exciting.
yes, it's close.
It's a lot. I went, we filmed, and then to prepare the project, and then we film, and then Talbot edits, and we build the course, and I was going back through a lot of the footage. I was overwhelmed by by it. I was like, but so yes, there's a lot of information, and it's a really fun project. I hope you guys like it and enjoy it.
Someone's asking if you've ever thought of making a tutorial and kit for a dachshund.
We have a dog, a foxhound course, and that was my attempt to address dogs. I don't do specific breeds of dogs because there are so many and they are so varied. So, but in the hound course, we make an armature for a dachshund, a borzoi, and a bulldog. So I tried to cover a big variety of dog shapes. So it's like a partial dachshund, but the course itself makes a foxhound. Oh yeah. So next course, gorilla, giraffe, tiger.
I think you had the gorilla.
I really do like the
closest to
gorilla
being
is a great
figured out.
project. So I that is definitely still on my radar. And we will start shop hops again this summer. So the way a shop hop works is if there's a project that you would like to know what to buy for or what you need, then you email me. It's sarafinafiberart@gmail.com, and you tell me about your project. And if I feel like that's a great one to feature, I'll be in touch with you either way and say thank you. But then we would be in touch and decide when we could film. We were doing Fridays, right?
We were doing Friday mornings.
And then we go down to the other building where all the stuff is, and we walk around and we shop. And I explain which fibers we're choosing and why. And depending on the project, I might figure out the armature for you too.
We were using YouTube Live.
So if
Chat,
you're interested, I would like for you to be comfortable with being on camera. So just keep that in mind. And yes, you would need a YouTube.
Ideally
app.
On your phone.
Yeah.
It's the phone app that we're going to have to figure that out again.
Yeah.
You know they changed it too. I don't know that they did. I'm just guessing.
So they're a lot of fun, and that's a great way to touch upon a project, because like if there's things that people want that, there's only so many I can get to in a year. So, it's a great way to fit in some other projects. And check out the Shop Hops playlist. We did some great projects last year, and actually the whale is what led to the humpback whale giveaway and tutorial.
So a couple people are asking just about their emails not getting newsletters. As far as signing up again, you would just go to the main page of our website, and down near the very bottom there's a place to sign up for the newsletter. So you could re-enter your email, and I believe it asks you to confirm. Like it's going to send you something that you click that you're confirming. I'm not entirely sure, and I do remember that Comcast email question.
Someone asked about certified
instructor.
Yeah, certified instructors. We have a page on the website with more information. There's 2 videos, I believe, on there that explain what it's all about. I was doing 2 enrollment periods. I'm thinking about just doing the spring. So at this point, enrollment would be closed, but you check out all the information, and when you inquire, you will so you have to inquire to get the full amount of information to help you decide if this is right for you or not. So you can email Kyla at admin@sarafinafiberart.com if you can't find your way or have further questions.
Yeah, the form to inquire is on the main website, there's a SCI certified instructors, and when you click learn more, there's a couple videos that explain it, and then there's a little Google inquiry that you will fill out, which pops into my email.
I don't understand the brush mat question.
I don't see the brush mat question. Oh. You ever do the brush mat? Like the blending board?
Or like the brush, like there's brush
Oh.
felting surfaces. I've never used a brush felting surface. Oh, I did miss one. Someone asked about the Rolex.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because I was jumping around a little bit. Oh, Angela. Oh, because Angela, I think, also asked about the products. We
The
recently
clover
showed
tool.
the brush mat clover thing.
They're asking about the clover tool for making a pelt on a brush mat. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that is separate from the Rolag on the blending board question.
Okay. The Rolegs, I mean, Rolegs are to be spun. That's. I mean, unless there's some other. I guess you could make them into dreads. You could wet felt them into dreads. That could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But they're basically to be spun. We still haven't done a drop spindle demo. Oh gosh,
We have not
so
used
much to
the
do.
clover.
I
brush
have never
mat.
used the clover brush mat. Mm-mm.
So I don't know if you're trying to lay out a pelt and then stab it on. I don't
It's
know. How
rather
that-
small, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's like. Yeah.
I'm sure you could get a larger one, but I'm always worried about like the depth.
Yeah, I mean they're
Feels-
designed for needle felting, so it's a
Um,
cool concept. And I actually contacted brush manufacturers, but they were really expensive, like to have a custom brush made.
question about
That's interesting, Joyce. Like I would think it would stick less because
lot.
everything's vertical. There would be nothing for the fiber to.
compared to the burlap.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's
That is
interesting.
Someone just suggested as we're coming up with shop hops,
Mm-hmm.
a few suggestions on shapes. Like if you're thinking through a project, armature, or without working out the whole project, shapes.
Oh,
Tips.
to add, so like
Like if there's bulk on the belly
Yeah.
or chest or
yes,
whatever.
yeah, okay, good. I will.
Just
I
kind
will
of
keep.
looking at the animal.
I will keep that in mind for sure. There's so much. So much. I say this all the time, but I'm so thankful for everybody's input and following and inspiration, and it's a cyclical thing, and I feel very fortunate to do what I do and share it with you and create. This is the best. So oh, a cottage or a cabin. I have not thought about that. I'm not into architecture yet.
The most amazing thing is the Fiber Fairy house.
I feel like Trisha Scott went
Yes,
into.
she did.
She
She
did
did
a
like a
lot.
Halloween house.
Like when we first met, I feel like she made like a fountain. I was like, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then, yeah, she did.
I should show that off.
She did a Halloween house, which,
The Fiber Fairy house.
oh my gosh.
To close it out,
Okay, yeah, you can bring it over. Oh my gosh, and I feel so bad. I'm not remembering her name.
We have a whole video showing it off.
But
Was
she
it Leona?
passed away.
Was it Leona?
No. It was just such a huge gift.
Oh, Leona did a video. Yeah.
Talbot is bringing the Fiber Fairy house over that someone made for us.
Oh, I'm not bringing it up.
Oh, is that what you're doing? What do you?
Just taking this stuff out, stairs out.
Oh.
It's gonna take.
He's gonna take the camera.
Oh,
over.
okay. You can take the camera. All right, then I don't have to move all this stuff.
Trisha found a mold at the dollar store to use for her structures.
Wait, where's Trisha?
Deb is saying this about
Oh,
Trisha.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
Trisha.
no
There he
information
goes.
safe. Little limited by the
Hey, and Talbot, while you have that up, maybe just spin around and show everybody the space a little bit without making him dizzy.
cables. Yeah.
Don't spin around too quickly. He doesn't have like a steady cam on. Oh, now I'm watching. Yeah, this is so. It has a mailbox. It has a chimney. It has a little desk inside with a miniature stab it. It doesn't have a little portrait of Milo in there.
Either the staff or Milo. Remember, it's so cute. The detail is amazing.
Oh, that's perfect, Talbot.
But yeah. So well done.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
crazy.
But yeah, you want me to pan the
There's a
shot?
little box of Band-Aids
Yeah,
in there.
just pan the shop. Like, you can show them Karina and. The ostrich is not ready, someone asked, but we were just.
I don't know if I should show the whiteboard style zoom away from
Oh
So
my
behind
gosh.
the scenes.
Yeah. Oh, it looks nice. I'm watching it.
We were just cleaned up.
We were
for
just
the-
cleaned up for the visitors, so I don't think there's any like dirty secrets laying around or anything.
Too funny.
Oh, except for our kitchen.
Our kitchen is lovely.
Sue said I was going to ask you to zoom on the whiteboard. What is on the whiteboard? I think it's just the Highland cow on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Old news. So yeah, things to look forward to in June. I will say that sorry, Talbot just accidentally kicked the tripod. I will say that we will not have a fiber ferry in June. So we're going to go today, and then we'll introduce some things in June. We'll be introducing the Shetland line. We'll be introducing the Heaton Bond, the Ostrich. We have the Chipmunk Felt-Along coming up. And then we have the Christmas in July sale, which I believe will be right on the 25th. That should be on the calendar.
I think so.
maybe.
Yeah.
And then it'll be fall before we know it. So
Someone spied the magpies, and Sue would like a zoom in on your brain.
Sue, no, we don't. You'd be like, okay, get me out, zoom back out. Yeah, the magpies were a fun thing. They're too hung up, but yes, thanks Talbot for doing that.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Good to see
Off
everybody.
to ship and make good things. And we will see you for the Chipmunk Felt-Along
weeks.
will be the next thing, I guess. So, all right. Have a great day, everybody, and I can't wait to see you next time.
Bye.